Welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm Hannah Blackwell, and today I am going to be bringing you all of the series that I want to continue in 2023. So I am actually pretty good-ish about continuing series, especially when it comes to epic fantasy series. The only thing I'm bad about is continuing romance series, and truly, I just don't care. I don't worry all that much about finishing out romance series. Oftentimes, each book in a series follows a different couple, and it's like, well, if I want to pick it up, I will, and if I don't, I don't. And I don't worry about being a completionist when it comes to romance series. Now, if it is a fantasy romance series, that's a different story, especially one where it follows the same couple and an overarching adventure. Though there actually are a few of those that I just haven't bothered with and I'm not even concerned with discussing. So mostly this book is going to be fantasy sci-fi. I want to continue on in the series. That's what this list is going to be. And I'm not going to concern myself with like an update of like all of the series that I'm technically in the middle of. I'm just not going to do that video because it's not something that I think really pertains to me and my reading style. So today, this is going to be all the series that I am in the middle of, that I want to continue on, and that are really priorities for me to continue on and or complete in 2023. I don't think it's going to be too long of a video, I hope. I think I might have around 10. I could be wrong. I guess we'll find out at the end of this video. Let's just go ahead and get into this video. But before we do, I do always want to remind you that all of my social media is linked down below if you want to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, or Goodreads. And please, if you have not already subscribed, I would love to have you subscribe to my channel. If you click the like button, it really helps my channel grow. And comment down below and let me know, what is the #1 series that you want to continue in 2023? Let's just go ahead and get into this. This is in no particular order. These are just all the series that I want to continue. Starting out, we have Daughter of the Forest. I just read this book, and this series is actually a set of 2 trilogies. I definitely want to try to finish the first trilogy in 2023. I think the next book is Son of Shadows. I could be wrong, but it is this series, the Seven Waters series by Juliet Marillier. The first book follows Sorsha and her trying to release herself and her brothers from a curse that was set upon them by this enchantress, in which her brothers were turned into swans and she lost the ability to speak. So that is what this book is about, but actually I think that each book in the series follows a different person. So I think the other one is going to be in the same area, but it's going to follow a different character. But this is definitely a series that I do want to continue on with and hopefully finish at least the first of the 2 trilogies in 2023. The next series that I really want to continue with is the Dandelion Dynasty. I just read Grace of Kings this last month and I really enjoyed it. And I've heard from a lot of people that Wall of Storms is just iconic, possibly the best book in the series, and so I can't wait to pick this one up. Very excited. It is chunky, but the first book in this series is Grace of Kings, and in Grace of Kings, it almost treats itself like a prequel in a way. We see this empire. This emperor has taken over all of Dara. There's like 7 states, I believe, in Dara. 7 states or 7 countries, what you will, and basically tries to turn them into states kind of thing. And he just tries to unify everyone, and he does it for what he believes is the greater good and what the gods want him to do. A revolution occurs because the people of Dara don't really like it. So that's what we see, and we follow that in the first book. And I think the series is going to be really beginning with this, which sounds like you'll understand when if you read Grace of Kings, you'll understand what I'm talking about. But anyway, so I'm very much looking forward to seeing what this book brings. The next series that I am really looking forward to continuing in 2023 is the Liveship Traders by Robin Hobb. I read Ship of Magic a few months ago, possibly like maybe 4 months ago, and I have been just dying to pick up Mad Ship. I really want to read it and I just haven't had the time, but I do want to read this as soon as possible. I think this is most people's favorite book in the trilogy, but in this series we follow a group of these live ship traders, and a live ship is a ship that comes alive after the third consecutive head of the family dies on the ship. And once the live ship comes alive, it is so much more powerful, it's faster, has just a lot of abilities that other ships don't have, and it can navigate the rain wilds as well. So it's really important and really great for a family to have a live ship. And we follow the Vestrit family mostly, and we also follow a pirate. And the Vestrit family has a live ship, but there's all of this inner workings, inner politics, family disputes going on with the Vestrit family related to this live ship. And then we follow this pirate who wants to become king of the pirates, and he wants to get a live ship so that he can just to like help him in that journey of becoming the king of the pirates. So it's a really cool series. I'm really enjoying it. I'm loving it. I can't wait to continue on, read the second and the third book in the Liveship Traders. I don't think that will be an issue. I should be able to finish the trilogy in 2023. That's my priority, but if I can continue on to the third trilogy in the realm of the Elderlings, I would love to do so. The next series I want to discuss is the Wheel of Time. This is The Great Hunt. It is the second book in the series. I have a bunch of friends that are actually hosting a read-along for this series, and I think they're reading a book every 2 months, which makes it quite doable. But if you're me and you're also doing a Malazan read-along, a From Blood and Ash read-along, and trying to prioritize about a million other series, it could get a little iffy, but I'm gonna try. I want to do that, and I will have those hosts linked down below. I'm really looking forward to this read along, and I'm hoping to participate. I'm hoping I don't need to reread the first book in the series, Eye of World, even though it's been a year since I read it. I'm hoping I don't need to do it. I'm hoping I just continue on with this, but I guess we'll find out when I pick this book up. I actually have a pretty good memory of what happened in Eye of the World, so I'm not too worried about that. I really took my time when I read Eye of the World just to fully allow myself to familiarize myself with the world and the characters. So I think because I took my time reading it, I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue, but we will find out. If you don't already know what the Wheel of Time is about, which I'm sure most people do because this is such an iconic series in the fantasy genre, but this is about a small town where we have these characters, including Rand al'Thor, who are kind of younger, naive. It's like a farming village, and all of a sudden, one day, things go awry, and we have this Aes Sedai character, and the Aes Sedai are kind of like sorceresses, and she comes and then we have these like evil characters that come, and basically shit hits the fan, and we have a quest going on, and they leave on a quest. And that's all you really need to know. It is a classic fantasy, very Lord of the Rings inspired, and I give the first book 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. The characters, not the best, but the story, the plot, the world building, and the writing style, I actually really enjoyed. The next series that I'm going to include on this list is actually the Malazan series, and I know what you're probably thinking, Hannah, you haven't even read the first book in the series. This is true. I have not yet read the first book in the series, but basically 2 or 3 days after you watch this video, probably, I will be reading it. So I am going to be reading Gardens of the Moon in December, and we will have our live show in January. And so because of this, I know I will be continuing the series in 2023, if that makes sense. So I don't know much about this series. I cannot tell you. I know it's dark, but not grimdark per the author, but I know a lot of people consider it grimdark, and I know it's an epic fantasy series that follows a huge cast of characters. It's quite complex, and I hear the writing is beautiful. That's all I know. That and the fact that this kind of surrounds like an empire and a war. But I mean, that's basically every fantasy series, so that's what I know. So I do know I will be wanting to continue on in the series because I am hosting a read along with a few friends of mine, including Kaylee from Kaylee's Books, Kay's Hidden Shelf, Kayla from Kay's Hidden Shelf, Andrew Wizardly Reads, and Bryce from Shelf Centered. So we're all getting together monthly to read this series monthly. Hopefully, it's going to depend because some of these books are quite chunky, but we're aiming for monthly because I kind of just want to like zoom through it. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'll definitely want to be continuing it, and I will be continuing it because I'm doing a read along for it. The next series I want to continue in 2023 is the Wayward Children series. The next book I have to read is Down Among the Sticks and Bones. This is the second book in the series, and this follows a group of children who have all been taken to different worlds through portals. And it follows the aftermath of how these children and teens kind of deal with being returned to the real world. And then some of the books also deal with their experiences in these other worlds. So they basically all have their own little like Alice in Wonderland, Chronicles of Narnia situation. They've all traveled through some kind of portal, a door, a wardrobe, whatever it might be, and they're just not dealing with reality very well after having returned. And I really like it. I love the writing. I love the writing style. I love how whimsical it is. These are just short little novellas too, which is totally fun. And yeah, I'm really enjoying myself. I think that there are 7 or 8 books in this series. And Shannon Maguire is quickly becoming a favorite author of mine. And so definitely want to continue on with this one. In the same vein of novellas, I'd also like to finish the Murderbot series. I think I've read the first 3 books in this series. So the next one will be the 4th book. I'll pop it up here. I can't remember the name of the 4th book, but yes. We follow in the series this AI who considers himself to be Murderbot. Like he names himself Murderbot. He's like a security sec unit. So he is supposed to be doing security detail at these different corporate jobs on these different planets. And he has a serious personality on him. He is really interested in watching different TV shows. He downloads them and he just watches them in quick succession. And he is really funny, very sarcastic, and the most human robot that I've ever read about. And it's just kind of shenanigans and adventure, and I've really enjoyed it. I think I might even want to reread the first 3 books because things got a little bit confusing for me while I was reading the 3rd book, and I think maybe it might be better for me to actually read these books in quicker succession. I think I've taken too much time in between each book. Like I'll go 4 months in between each novella. And I think because they are so short and the way the story goes and just picks up where it left off, I think it might work better to read them closer in succession. Maybe reading all 6 books. So 5, 6, or I don't know if it's 5 or 6 books, but reading all of the books kind of like at least a month apart. So we'll see what I do. If I pick up the 4th book and I'm confused, I might actually go back to the beginning. But I do want to continue on with the Murderbot series. Next, I have a graphic novel series, and that's the Monstrous series. I read the first book, Awakening, a while back. I think it was like a year ago, maybe. So what I'd like to do actually is reread the first one, and then I actually have the next few volumes. So, but I would like to read this series. I can't remember quite what it was about, to be honest, but I remember I really enjoyed it, and I remember I love the art style. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and read you what it says on the back of the graphic novel. Set in an alternate world of Art Deco beauty, the steampunk horror Monstrous tells the epic story of Micah Halfwolf, a teenage survivor of a cataclysmic war between humans and arcanics. In the face of oppression and terrible danger, Micah is both hunter and hunted, searching for answers about her mysterious past, as those who seek to use her remain just one step behind. And all the while, the monster within her begins to awaken. I really enjoyed this, and I want to continue for sure. So next I'd also like to continue on with Saga. This is the first book in this series, but I actually have read the first and second books. They're just graphic novels, and the 10th one came out recently. I know it was highly anticipated, but I think I'd like to reread the first two and go from there. I only own the first one. But Saga is a really cool Romeo and Juliet style love story set in space. And we've got basically these two characters that they're two civilizations. I think one is set on a moon and one's set on a planet, are warring constantly, and they're both in love with each other, but they're not supposed to be. And they have a baby, and it is just a beautiful love story packed with action and adventure. They're being chased. They're outlaws, basically. They are in exile or they're on the run, and it's just a really cool love story and action adventure, and I want to continue on, but like I said, I also would probably like to reread the first two books or graphic novels in this series. I'd also really like to pick up Tower of Thorns by Juliet Merlier. I've put this on TBRs before and just not gotten to it. Each book in this series is its own little mystery, but they do follow Blackthorn and Grimm, who are basically living in this cabin on the edge of this forest after having escaped from prison for being wrongly accused of like different kind of crimes, or basically being maybe not like wrongly accused, but there was a reason behind everything. Anyway, the point is they met in prison, escaped together, and now they're living on the edge of this forest. And they have kind of caught the attention of the royalty and the townspeople um, for being good at solving mysteries. And so it is like historical fantasy, a little bit of romance, mystery, like cozy mystery. That's how I would describe this series. And I've already read the first book in the Blackthorn and Grimm series, that's Dreamer's Pool, and I want to read Tower of Thorns, and Den of Wolves is the third book. And yeah, I'd like to read these if I can. And the art, the covers of this series are absolutely gorgeous. So I think I had 10 books here. I'm not positive. But these are the books, the series that I want to continue on in 2023, the priority series for me for 2023. And I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, make sure to click the like button, comment down below and let me know which of these books I should read first, which of these series should be like my #1 priority of 2023. I want to know your opinion on that. And if you haven't already subscribed, I'd love to have you subscribe to my channel as well. All of my social media is linked down below, including my Goodreads, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Until next time, fellow readers, keep reading and living your best life.